Good morning. Hello, it's Kate. Thank you for joining me again today. I want to go ahead and apologize for the quality of this voice recording. I am sitting in the playroom with my daughter while she's watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And if I turn off the volume to Mickey Mouse, she will not pay attention to it. So I'm going to attempt to do this recording this way. This is actually my second attempt to record a voiceover because my first one was just not good. And I'm also, I always try to do this while I've got an extra 30 minutes here or there. Anyways, pretty soon my daughter's going to be going to daycare, which we call school. So that'll be awesome. I'll have a little bit more time, but I really need to focus on my business, and I really, really need to focus on passing that architecture exam. So I don't know if any of you remember, but I took that exam again back in March and did not pass. I have one exam left in order to become a licensed architect. So I am really looking forward to getting that behind me, and then I can really grow my business, my design firm, and do full-fledged architecture, not just interior design or working for other architects. So I'm really excited about that. Moving on to talking about this build, this is one that I did back also in March. This was probably a study break build, and it is a townhouse. But I really wanted it to be, I just was into a different style. I think actually I was influenced by using those curved windows. I can't remember if they are base game or if they are get to work or something, but those curved windows that are on the top floor, I really wanted to use those because I love those windows and I rarely find an opportunity to use them. And I think it's because there's not any windows that match them. Which is still true, but I decided to make it work with this build. So I wanted to do something that looked really interesting. I think I saw, something similar to this online. I'm sure it was on Pinterest or probably Pinterest. Anyway, I was inspired by seeing this. I've also been kind of dabbling in the angled walls a little bit more in The Sims, just to make things more interesting recently. And I know that angled walls are really difficult to work with, but I was quite happy with how this turned out. In this situation, the angled walls becomes the kitchen eventually, and then on the upper floor it becomes the primary bedroom. Hi, baby girl. So I think that this is a success. This kind of ends up being a modern townhome. It's like a little bit more of an expensive place to live, even though it's still only two bedrooms. Two bedrooms and 1.5 bathrooms. It's a pretty expensive place to live. So I imagine this being kind of for your upper middle class person or family, small family, that is. And again, I kind of carved these three townhomes out of a block. If you imagine like having a block of wood or molding clay or something and just kind of pinching and pulling and taking more pieces away from it. That's kind of what happened with this one. I knew generally what I wanted the shape to be, but I wasn't sure how I was going to achieve this big balcony. This big balcony, and I had no idea what the plan was for the ground level. I just knew that the main living level was going to be on the second floor and that the bedrooms are going to be on the third. And then I also decided to add a rooftop because that's just something that I see really fancy townhomes have. And I always like to say I like to use The Sims as an outlet for creativity. Obviously, I do design buildings. Please go check out my website at shawmedicalspaces.com. I do actually design buildings in real life for my job, like real actual buildings that people will use and walk around in. But you don't always have the freedoms to do whatever you want there. You have to. You have a client, you have to pay the bills, you have to do what they want you to do. And The Sims is a great outlet for creativity. And it's also, the scale is so different than real life. And the process of creating something here versus actually drawing something that a general contractor needs to build is so different. So this is kind of like a quick get your creativity outlet for me, and I've always loved The Sims for that. And sometimes I do actually do gameplay, but most of the time I want to do a build. I want to move on to the next build. And so you can see I use the Home Chef Hustle kitchen pack as well as, I think, did we get the separate, I think we got the separate stove and oven from Dream Home Decorator, but I don't remember. But I combined that with the Home Chef Hustle kitchen, and was really happy with how it nestled itself into the angled wall on this main living level. I was really worried about these because they are kind of narrow and small, but these I think, look realistic in terms of what you might find on the outskirts of a city, right where the tall apartment buildings end and these kind of smaller living situations begin. They're usually a little bit nicer when they're that close to the city. Therefore, they're a little bit more expensive, but that doesn't mean that they are spacious, and this one's not spacious. So I was kind of making it up as I go for the ground level. Again, I had no idea what I wanted that to look like. I just had a really strong idea for these upper levels. So in the lower levels, I kind of tried to carve out what I think will be community space and trying to decide what should go down there. And this is a kind of a surprising combination of packs and styles. For example, I think I start out by I'm using horse ranch railing on the balcony level, and then I'm also using, I think, growing together railing on the ground floor. I can't remember if I changed that. But I really enjoy that, like finding opportunities in The Sims to mix and match packs. Some of them go together really well, and some of them do not. But this one kind of surprised me. I mean, you can also see like the type of, I've got brick from cottage living, and I've got stone from horse ranch on the exterior of the building. So it's really it's another creative outlet, right? And when I'm designing a building in real life, I like to think, what two materials could I put together? What four materials could I put together? What colors could I combine? And I feel like The Sims just gives me more practice to do that, and it gives me a little bit more confidence in my real work, my real life work to, push those limits. And Mickey Mouse is now doing the hot dog dance. If any of you have young kids or you babysit or anything, you are probably familiar with it. And I can hear it loud and clear. I hope you can't. But that's what's happening in the background right now. Again, this recording, I'm doing it when I can because I run a business and I've got my child at home. And I just really like to do this as a hobby, uploading these videos to YouTube and kind of sharing my creativity with you guys. So if you don't mind that today's voice recording has got, some guests in the back. I did include laundry in each unit, and then I decided to make the ground floor be like entry space as well as individual hobbies. And I did furnish each townhome to be for a certain personality. So each townhome has kind of a flair to it. Like, I think one of them is a very musical musician type. The other one is a handy and fabrication type. And then the other one is more of a professional designer. I was actually kind of thinking about myself and, what would I like if I could have the perfect situation. So in the professional designer, they have this really nice office on the ground level that they can see clients in and do their work in. That is kind of the dream for me someday, is to have a separate office, but on, at my home, that I can bring clients into without them having to go into my messy house. It's a real dream of mine to someday get there, and maybe I will. Anyway, I really enjoyed kind of cluttering up, put blueprints in there. I put some of the, yes, baby girl. I put some of they have like little bits of clutter that are from the decorator kit, or not kit, decorator pack, Dream Home Decorator Pack, that are like, fabric swatches or, a bulletin board of, a scheme, a bunch of materials up there. And I found good opportunities to really make this look genuinely like an office that I might be working in. Musician, I just tried to put anything and everything I think that an aspiring musician, or even maybe a successful musician, maybe locally successful, maybe not, maybe when they really hit it big, they'll go move into Del Sol Valley. But right now they are successfully creating all of their music out of this kind of ground level, almost like a basement, almost like a garage. But they have a nice setup. They have a nice recording studio. They have a nice instruments, and I wanted it to actually look like maybe they can sit in there with other musicians and kind of do some collaboration. Each unit has laundry on that lower level too. Laundry is something that I like to add to my gameplay. If that is not something you want in your gameplay, definitely delete it, because they will start to accumulate laundry with that on site. And but I like the idea that maybe laundry's down in that lower level. That's kind of the utility functional space, and so they each have that. To go back into these and add a half bathroom on the main living level, because I realized the only bathroom in this whole place are on the third floor, and it's the bathroom that everybody in the house shares, and that just doesn't seem convenient. And to note, the other part of my dream office is that someday I'll have this office that people can come to on my house lot, but and I'm talking about in real life. Somebody could come to my house and I could meet with them, and they would also have they would also have a bathroom nearby that they could use, and this is not suitable for that either. So if this was really going to be my dream place to work and live and work in the same place, I need a half bathroom downstairs so that my clients could use the bathroom without going through my messy house again, because I know myself. I know that my house is going to be messy. So you can probably tell I tried to make the professional designer's home very designy, and everything's just very polished, curated. Every last detail just looks perfect and looks like it could go in a magazine. This is not the type of house that I would raise a family in. This is more like a single professional or a couple with no kids that has guests over sometimes, or maybe they live there with their sibling or a roommate. But both would have to be very neat, orderly, and designy type Sims. And then the next house, you can see I get a little bit more kid friendly, where I make that second bedroom kind of all decked out for children. And I think this is the fabrication handiness one, where I make the really cute, like all pink bedroom. And then in the musician's bedroom, I used the skull bed from high school years. I just thought it looked kind of rock, kind of punk rock, and a little bit Iron Maiden or something. So I thought that was appropriate there. And then I also made a kid-friendly bedroom in that apartment unit. I also tried to use all eco-lifestyle fabricated furniture as much as I could in the home with the fabrication station. Wanted to look like these people, really have worked hard to try to build everything that they have. And if there was a type of furniture that I needed that we don't have a handmade version of, for example, like a toddler bed, then I just found one that I thought looked like it could be handmade. Like some look like they're kind of made out of plywood, or but well done, like well crafted, not sloppy. I use pretty simple landscaping on the outside. I also use the eco lifestyle Woohoo bin. I love that bin. I think that it is perfect for these residential rentals. The scale is appropriate for having multiple families use one trash. And there to be a few nice amenities downstairs. So there is a really nice outdoor kitchen with a pizza oven, and then there's gardening, and there's a little pool, like a lap pool, which I also think is something you would see in one of these smaller, more luxurious places to live, so that you don't have to, they don't have the space for a big, grand pool, but at the same time, there's probably not a lot of large families living here either. So this is more like a lap pool for somebody who's going to go out there and do their laps and then go back into work, whether it be the musician or the designer or the fabricator. I think I tried to use flowers. This is a good technique, just using flowers from Debug or maybe even not from Debug, just from the regular gallery, what do you call it? Anyway, Just trying to make it look like it fits right here in Willow Creek. This is kind of on, I want to call it a riverbank, but it's not a riverbank. It's like an industrial, you know, water supply area with retaining walls and everything. So this is actually the cheaper neighborhood in Willow Creek. But I thought, you know, it has potential to be a nice place to live. And this is kind of typically what they would do, is right on the outskirts of a city, just have a nicer place to live than it might be kind of industrial looking. The rooftop areas are really nice touch. I also think this would be a dreamy thing to have, but then I also, when I imagine myself actually living in a place with a rooftop, I don't think I'd ever go up there, which is really unfortunate because that would be such great space to be paying for. But I just don't see myself actually using it that much. Maybe when I have people over, and I only have people over every so often because I have kids now, so it's hard to have people over. So we are coming up on the end of this video, and the screenshots are coming up very soon. I hope that you enjoyed this one. I definitely did. Again, a good creative outlet for myself, and I will see you all next time. Thank you so much.